question is isometric truncated prism. A hexagonal prism, side of base 25 mm and height 50 mm, rests on HP, and one of the edges of its base is a section plane perpendicular to VP and inclined at 50 degrees. HP bisects the axis of the prism. Draw the isometric projection of the truncated prism showing the cut surface. So here the given object is a hexagonal prism. So for the hexagonal prism, we have to ask to sketch the isometric projection. So to sketch the isometric projection, we have to metric length into so we have to convert actual length into isometric length by multiplying, for example, isometric projection is equal to actual into 0.82. So starting itself, we have to convert. For example, let us consider the base as 25 mm. So if we consider the base as 25 mm, so that will give you 20.5. So here the base side is 20.5, but we have to mark the actual dimension as 25 mm instead of height 50. The height given, for example, 50 into 0.82, that will give you 40. Is the method to sketch the front view and top view. So far we completed front view and top view as usual. So here the hexagon is placed like this because one of the base side is exactly parallel to this is the base side which is parallel to a VP. So we completed this projection. So this is top section, this is top view, section top view, and this is front view. Now we have to name the points. For example, let us start with the point. So let me start from the top view. So this is, let it be 0.1. So this is 0.2. This is 0.3. This is 0.4. This is 0.5. This is 0.6. This is 0.7, and finally this is 0.8. So similarly name the points in the, for example, this is 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, this is 4 dash, and again 5 dash, 6 dash, 7 dash, and the last point is. So this is the way to sketch the section, name the sectional points. So now we have to start the isometric projection. To sketch the isometric projection, step is we have to draw a light line first. For example, let us start with the light line as usual, light line, and then choose any one common point, and by taking that as a point, so now we have to take 30 degrees inclination. For example, so this is the reference point, so take 30 degrees towards left and 30 degrees towards right. So this is 30 degrees towards left and this is 30 degrees towards right. So before sketching the isometric view, we have to imagine that this hexagonal prism is inscribed in a box. So now we have to make this prism, we have to keep this prism inside the box. That is our imagination. So for that, construct a box here as usual. So let us consider, imagine that this hexagon is inscribed in a box. Here. Now we have to name the points in the box. For example, so let us mark the points as, let it be so let it be P1, Q1, R1, S1. P1, Q1, R1 represents base surface of the box. Similarly, P, Q, R, S represents top surface of the box. So now we have to measure the dimensions for the box, for example. So now, so this is the point. So to sketch the isometric projection, we have to go with the measurements of the box. So here the cuts, this is the section plane, because the section plane is perpendicular to VP and inclined at 50 degrees to HP as usual. So this is inclined at an angle of 50 degrees and it bisects axis, or the bisects the axis of the prism is at the middle of the part. So this is the midpoint. Now we have to make out the measurements. So in this view we have to keep R1 as the basic point to sketch the isometric view. So simply keep R1 in this line. For example, name this point as R1 and we have to mark the points. For example, first let us mark point Q. So Q exactly lies at a measurement of 4.5. So first draw a line here, light lines. So Q measures 4. So this is the measurement of Q1, and now we have to measure point S, and this is the measurement for S, 6, this 3.6 mm measurement. So this is the measurement for S1. Now we have to complete the remaining part. So this is S1. Now we have to get point P1. So to mark point P1, we have to draw a line from S1 that should be exactly parallel to R1 and Q1. So this is the line which is parallel to R1 and Q1, light line, and again, and now from point Q1 you have to draw a line that should be exactly parallel to R1 and S1. This is R1 and S1. We have to draw a line that should be exactly parallel to Q1 and so now this is point P1. Now we have to mark, now we have to sketch the top surface of the box. So to get top surface of the box, this is the actual measurement. So here the actual measurement is 41 because that is the isometric height of the box. So simply take 41 measurement and then draw line, vertical line. All lines must be straight lines. 41, and here again that is 41, and here again the measurement is 41, and from here again it is 41. Now connect all those points using your scale. So these are all the points. I mean, these points represents top surface of the box. Simply P, Q, R, and S. So this is point P. So this is point P1, right? And this is point P, Q, R, and S. So this is the simple points P, Q, R, and S. Now we have to sketch the remaining points as usual. So here we have to start with the point 1 and 8. So here the line connecting 1 and 8 is exactly parallel to P and Q because this is 1 and 8. Its exact lies on the top surface of the box. So top surface means that is P and Q. So here we have to mark the point. So here we have to name the points as usual. So sorry. So this is point S, this is point R, this is point Q, and this is point P. Now we have to draw a line for 1 and 8. So take out the measurement from this point. So here take the measurement. Here the measurement is exactly 4 mm. Now here mark 4 mm here in the line P and S. This is exactly 4 mm. And now through this point we have to draw a line. That line should be exactly parallel to P and Q. Exactly parallel to P and Q. That is exactly parallel to P and Q. And similarly here also the measurement is 4, and here 4 and 5 lie lie at the base surface of the box. So here it is the base surface of the box, that is R1 and S1. So here it is R1 and S1. Again mark 0.4 mm here in this point and then draw a line that should be exactly parallel to R1 and S1. That is R1 and S1. Now we have to mark the points. For example, So before that, we have to sketch the hexagon here. So let me start with point A. A1 lie in between for A here. So this measurement is exactly 1.8. So in between P and Q1 mark point 1.8 because that is the midpoint 1.8. Similarly, now from that point just draw a light line. That line must be exactly parallel to P1, S1 or Q1 and R1. So this is point A1 and this is point D1. Similarly, we have to mark point B1 and C1 here. So measurement for point C1 is B1 is exactly 1. So here mark 1 mm, and here again we have to mark 1 centimeter or 10 mm, right? So this is point B1, this is point C1. Now from point B1 and C1 draw light lines. That lines must be exactly parallel to R1, S1 or P1 and Q1. So this is point E1 and this is point F1. Now from all those points A, B, C, A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1, just project straight line. That vertical lines must meet the respective planes. For example, let us start with this point. So this is point A and this is point B. This is point C. This is point D. This is point E, and this is point F. Now we have to connect all those points using our freehand scale. All the lines are light lines. So this is F and this is the point E. This is C. Connect C with D1 and connect E with D1. Now we have to mark the points. So first let us start with point 1. For example, point 1 lies in between point 1 and then lies in the line which is exactly parallel to P and Q on the top surface, because it is the top surface of the box. So here P and Q is the top surface of the box. So 1 is the line, 1 is the point which lies in between A and B. So here it is A and B. So mark that intersection point as 1 and mark this intersection point as 8. And now similarly, now we have to mark point 2 and 7. So 2 exactly lies at a measurement from the base, for example 3.2 mm, 3.2 centimeter from the base. So here from point B1 take 2 point. So here it is the measurement for 2 and 7. So take 3.2. So in this line mark 3.2 mm measurement. So this is point 2, and similarly now we have to mark point 3 as usual. So to mark 3 take measurement from C1. So here it is point 3 and 6. So take measurement, for example it is 16.6 mm, right? So here mark 16.08 measurement 8. So here it is 8 mm. So here mark the point as, so this is point 3, and finally this is point 4, this is point 5, because 4 lies in between C1 and D1. Here it is C1 and D1. 5 lies in between D1 and E1. So this is the way to mark points 4 and 5. And now we have to mark point 6. So 6 from E, just take a measurement of 8 mm. So this is point 6, and finally we have to mark point number 7. Point number 7 lies at a measurement of 3.2 mm from this point. So take 3.2 2 from this point. So this is 0.7. Now connect all the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 using your scale by dock lines. So this is the actual cut surface. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this surface is called as cut surface. Now we have to use hatching process to represent the cut surface. So now we have to do the hatching. Let us start the hatching process now. So far we completed the cut surface. Now we have to darken the portion which is lying below the plane that represents the resting portion of the object. For example, just darken the visible lines clearly and then go for the next one. And this is the cut section. Do this. The solid will be resting. Finally, so this is the isometric projection of the given truncated prism, which is showing the cut surface. So in the starting itself, we have to convert isometric lengths into actual measurements into isometric lengths by multiplying the actual measurements by 0.82. So here the base height is given as 25. So 25 into 0.82, that will give you 20.5. So I started with 20.5 as the base, but the dimension must be marked as the given dimension. So similarly, the height is given as 50 mm. So 50 into 0.82, that will give you 41. So here the height is 41. So after this, you have to take you have to go for isometric projection. So consider this as a reference point. So now by taking R1 as the reference point, we can see the cut surface, or we can select S1 as the point. So at these 2 points only we can visibly we can see the cut surface clearly. So start with point R1 dash R1. So through point R1, just to draw two inclined lines with an inclination of 30 degrees towards left and also towards right. Now as usual, you have to mark the box here. So here it is the box. P1, Q1, R1 represents base surface of the box. PQRS represents the top surface of the box. Now we have to mark the points. So inside the marks, first draw the hexagon first clearly. For example, connect A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1 by light lines. Similarly, connect A, B, C, D, E, F by light lines. And then you have to mark the points 1, 2, 3, 4, the section points. Point 1 and 8 lies at the top surface of the box. So now you have to take a measurement. For example, in this measurement, you have to measure this length and just paste it in this line here. For example, so here this line measures X, for example. So if it is X, here X is exactly parallel to P1, P and Q at the top surface. So it is P and Q. So similarly, draw a line here. But instead of 4 and 5 lies at the top surface, lies at the base surface of the box. So here it is the base. So at this point you have to sketch the measurement, the distance that is 4 and 5. And similarly, you have to take the measurements in between points like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, simply by measuring it from the front. So this is the final isometric projection of the given hexagonal prism. Thank you.